So MAZLU, I guess, so we want to start by, kind of examining you a little bit because I guess we want to know, last night you were talking to your viewers a little bit about how Twitch has been kind of a savior for you in certain areas of your life. And I guess we just kind of want to know, maybe a handful of things, like who are you, MAZLU? Like what are you in this community for other streamers, for led you here, I guess?
Honestly, I experimented with streaming on Facebook almost a year before I actually came over to Twitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was literally like, I'm playing video games. I'm just going to show people that I'm playing it. I didn't have a mic set up. It was consider probably like the worst channel you've ever walked into. And that's absolutely what it was. No mic, no camera, no overlays. The video quality was terrible. So I didn't realize that I was doing that. I had totally forgotten because my memory is trash. It's so bad that sometimes I forget where I'm going when I'm talking. But yeah, I didn't realize that I had been streaming on Facebook before I came over to Twitch. I kind of reconnected with a few buddies from college and they were all on Twitch and I was like, all right, well, fine, I'll do it. So I actually had a conversation with another one of my friends. He's like my best friend from high school. I've mentioned him several times in the streams. Good game, bro. He's over on Facebook. He's partnered over there. And, I was just like, well, what do you think? And he was like, just try it. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't, it's all good. He told me, get a C920, which is, my webcam.
Yep.
Have at it. So that's kind of how I got to Twitch.
So your friend was basically your bridge into it. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it was kind of like a mix of several friends that had been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't even, it wasn't even something that was on me. Like I wasn't something that I did. It wasn't, I didn't watch Twitch. I didn't really stream to have any sort of impact. I had no idea what I was doing.
Gotcha. So you were streaming on Facebook before Twitch, and then you went to Facebook and you came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Well,
I didn't know you were
back when I was streaming on Facebook. It wasn't, Facebook gaming didn't exist. That's fledgling. Right. That's in its infancy. That just started. So back then it was shadow play with the NVIDIA. Control Z. Click. Okay, now people can watch me play these games that I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, there's videos on there because like on Facebook, and this is one of the things that really kind of, I won't say necessarily it rubbed me wrong. I liked this fact, but it just didn't work for the kind of streamer that I am. On Facebook, it's there's a 4-hour limit there for streaming. You have 4 hours and they'll cut you off. Now you have your workaround where you can just start another one right after it, but then it's 2 different videos. Mm-hmm. So there's videos there where I disappear for an hour forgetting that I'm streaming to Facebook. Because I'm a single dad, so my son needed something or whatever. Right. It's really funny to look back on that and see how bad things were. Like I take my own production quality very seriously now. Yeah. But yeah, I was over there doing the NVIDIA shadow play stuff, and then I came over to Twitch because I I kind of re-met some people that were doing that. Had no idea what Twitch was, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna wing it. And then I left because of that whole domestic violence thing. I wasn't. We're not really. I don't feel like we need to give it any more time than it needs. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. I didn't like how Twitch handled that initially. So I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I can't really support a platform or allow a platform to make money, even if it's pennies on a dollar. I ain't Ninja, but
right. Yeah, and originally
I couldn't. Go ahead.
And originally, when we first had the idea of coming up with a podcast, we wanted you to be the first person to be on the podcast.
Isn't that special?
Yeah.
Because of
that.
Because of that, exactly that. Because you pretty much just said, I'm giving up basically everything that I've made here, like everything that I've created. And I'm going to take everything, just shut it off and just go to Facebook. And I thought that was very powerful, and I thought that other people could learn from that. You know what I mean? So I guess when we first originally started this podcast, we were going to ask you those questions, but I think it's kind of like water under the bridge now. We know kind of like what happened from it, but yeah. So I thought that was pretty
in short, in like a sentence or something, you left because of the issue that happened. But then obviously, so I guess while you're at Facebook, before we get ahead of ourselves, what was one benefit of it being there? I know there's some things you didn't like from it, but what was like one big benefit?
What I really enjoyed about being over on Facebook Gaming was being able to, as streamers, all of us have that question that we're asked by people that don't understand streaming is, what the hell is streaming? What do you do? You play video games and people watch you?
Right.
Like, no, not exactly. It's much bigger than that. Oh, well, what is it? And then you try to explain it and it gets lost in translation because they just don't get it because they can't get past the fact that you're playing video games and people are watching you. So what I loved was being able, because I mean, all I did was switch where I was, streaming. Like nothing changed. I didn't change my overlays. I didn't make some big thing about it other than, if you want to follow me and you want to keep watching me, come over there. But I liked being able to show this part of me to people that actually knew me. So I could say, you know what, see in their news feed that I'm live. And it's like, oh, that's such and such. I know him. Like, this is what he does. Instead of having to explain it, I could be like, hey, I know you asked, come watch. And I can show you what it actually is. And then you'll understand. So that was one of the things that was really important over there. That and my Good Game Bro, I mentioned him, we're best friends from high school. He's partnered over there, so it kind of gave me an opportunity to not necessarily work with him but work beside him in the sense that I could ask him pretty much anything about the platform. So those were the two things that really made a difference being over there from a positive aspect.
So you went over there and you streamed on your personal Facebook account?
So no, you can actually so with Facebook Gaming, I mean, like I said, it's in its infancy, but you can make a gaming video creator profile. So I'm still MAZLU over there as well.
Gotcha.
So I was streaming to a dedicated page that kind of maintained my anonymity. That's a hard one to say. Go ahead, try anonymity.
Anonymity.
Anonymity. So it allowed me to have some sort of anonymous place for people that didn't know me, but at the same time, I could use my personal page to invite people to that page that knew that I was doing that. I mean, people can click the link and it goes right over, and you can. The one thing, I mean, we were kind of talking about cons a little bit earlier. The one thing I really didn't like was, you have follow and like, and I didn't feel like there was a big difference between the two of them.
Oh,
but like their program, their affiliate program is a level up, right? That's what they call it, a level up program. And they based your requirements on followers. So, yeah, I mean, you didn't really have to. I didn't have to invite you. You could come find it.
Gotcha.
But it just made it easy because I was just like click, or invite all and just send it to everybody that I already knew.
How many followers did you need to become an affiliate of Facebook? 100.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, and because of what I was able to create with the people I've created with on Twitch, it was really easy to get to that point. I mean, I think like 3 days into being on Facebook Gaming, before I was even streaming, I had already hit 100. Then I just had to stream to actually be part of their level up program. So
gotcha. Cool.
So then you decided to come back to Twitch. What did Twitch do? Which, I mean, I think we all know exactly what they did, but what did they do to make you more okay with joining back onto Twitch since you had such a conviction about leaving?
Right. And I think this kind of takes away from the stand that I took. Right. And I hate the fact that I was kind of in that position to where it was like, I'm taking a stand, damn it.
Well,
and then I came back 3 months later.
Stuff changed. It wasn't the same. You didn't come back to the same thing.
I mean, because Twitch ultimately ended up permabanning the guy.
So, hey, just for full disclosure for listeners, exactly what was the situation real quick, and then the situation we're talking about.
ultimately there was a streamer that had a fairly large audience watching him, and his wife or lover, girlfriend, whatever, came to ask him to come to dinner, and then it turned into this domestic violence dispute. And you heard the kids like screaming and crying in the background. That's just not. And that happened in front of, like, this guy wasn't like, little old me with my 20 viewers. Like, he had like 100 people in there. And the biggest issue I had with that was the precedent that they were allowing to be set from a streaming standpoint. I feel like our standards should be higher because people watch us. And a lot of people watch us. I mean, whether it's, kids, adults, whatever, set this precedent. And I just didn't like that happened live, and then they banned the dude for only 2 weeks initially. So yeah. But then as far getting back to your question, Tyler, like, coming back to Twitch was, it kind of just came out of the blue for me. I knew they had permabanned him. I think they permabanned him a week after I left, and I was like, you know what? Hell, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing it.
It's too late.
I'm not.
It's too late.
Look at this face. I'm not kidding. But yeah, exactly. It was all One Republic up in there. But the biggest thing that drove me coming back to Twitch were the relationships that were created there. A lot of people didn't want to come over to Facebook because Facebook's got a number of things going on.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I was going to bring up with the Facebook transition is you lose that anonymity that you were talking about.
Right. Like, and that
when I watch your page, you see my first and last name. You're like, "What up, Dub?" And I'm like, "You know who I am now."
Right. And it's different for us because at the end of the day, I feel like we're all friends at this point.
Absolutely.
But somebody else that I may not be as close to, because I was right under 1,000 followers left, and then that dropped off to like 940 because I wasn't streaming anymore. So I could, that was definitely one of the biggest things a lot of people were asking about was, well, can I maintain the anonymous alias that I have on Twitch over here on Facebook? And I was like, yes, you can. You just have to create another page and this, that, and the other. And I can see from a viewer standpoint, because I'm a viewer too. Like, I can see how from a viewer standpoint how that could be troublesome, cumbersome, tedious to have to do just to watch me.
Absolutely.
So I missed the people that I had created friendships with over on Twitch, and I felt kind of like I had betrayed the people that didn't want to come over, because it was like, I'm going to still stream, but I'm going to stream on a platform that you don't want to go.
And you got to go make
best
extra steps to come see me now.
Right. It's like, yes, you can come see me, so you can follow me from your personal page. Well, I want to maintain this anonymous deal. And
I'm not gonna lie. When you first went over to Facebook, I thought that what you guys were saying. Like, I thought I was going to be able to go over there and just watch you, whatever, just pull up like my phone and just watch you without doing anything. And then it was like, you need to sign into your Facebook and do all this stuff. And I'm just, and like, from my personal experience, because I did try, and I was like, maybe another time. And then I forgot after that. And I was like, I forgot to try after that, but
and you weren't the only one, because people were like, oh, well, I don't have a Facebook, but I want to watch you. Well, you kind of need a Facebook to watch me, whether it's a personal page or a business page. Like,
and in this day and age, with all the doxing incidents that happen and everything like that, that's your personal information. If you use your standard page, it's still available for people to at least see some information.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have made a second page. Either it would be a fan page or something to where you could have a second account to be able to go in and do it. Which is like what you were saying.
And that was heartening me. Oh wow! All my monitors turned off because I hadn't touched my mouse in a minute. So that was kind of disheartening for me, though, because it was like, I'm taking the stand, but I'm also turning my back on the people that kind of got me to where I was. Not, I wasn't a partner or anything, but just I was comfortable with the people that were there and the community that we created together. So to say, you know what? Damn the torpedoes! I'm out. And then like, oh yeah, you can do this and this and that. And then the other thing is, created more work for me, because I'm constantly like, oh, you can do this, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, and I'm posting in my Discord saying, hey, like, come over, you can do this, and this. Here are all the answers to your questions. I'm sitting here thinking, like, is this worth it? Because, you know, I mean, I'm sitting at I think just under 200 followers over on Facebook. And I only streamed over there for maybe 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Because my computer started it was weird. I'm superstitious, like really superstitious. So my computer started acting up the moment I moved over to Facebook, and I think I tweeted something about it. I'm sure some.
Oh, you did.
I'm super superstitious. Super superstitious.
Everything started going wrong
Since I came back to Twitch. I mean, fine. My computer's it's been fine from a streaming standpoint, not necessarily.
So you're like one of those. So you're like one of those guys that's afraid of broken mirrors.
Not necessarily a broken mirror, but when I played football, I did lace up my cleats a specific way and tie one shoe before the other, and it was bad. I tied my right cleat before my left cleat.
Is that superstitious? I thought they called that something else, like OCD. Oh, no.
It could be. Frankly, I mean, it could be. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but it could be.
Just add on to the list.
I even like my shoelaces. Literally, they had to be inside over outside. Yeah, like so.
Inside over outside.
Inside over outside. So I would loop the inside over the outside. Yeah.
I think I got you.
Yeah. So it's. Yes, I'm super superstitious. I'll walk under a ladder though, because I'm a badass. I'm not scared of a ladder. Okay,
he's not a little stitious
than a ladder to scare me. But
I don't even understand that one. Like, what? Why does that have? Why does that bring bad luck?
I don't know, but I ain't scared of it. Nothing's happened to me yet. But
he's not stitious about that one at all. But everything else is superstitious.
I'm definitely not saying Candyman 3 times in the mirror.
Hell no.
No, sir. I ain't messing with the hook man. With the bees coming out of his mouth. No.
Oh my gosh.
No, sir.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, there's all. I know you listened to the last podcast on the left, and they go over all those different rituals and stuff.
Oh yes.
But, yeah, that's crazy. But
I love that podcast.
So I have a question regarding the Twitch thing for you. When it came to it, looking back at it now, I know that Twitch clearly didn't make the right decision. Do you ever view that as Twitch is still a somewhat young company and is still learning and growing with the community? Or do you feel like they should be better than the community standards already?
I think that they should be the precedent to the community standards. They're the top dog. Like, at the end of the day, the amount of money that's generated on Twitch, whether it's charitable donations or actual money that's going to streamers, and I think there's no excuse for them to make missteps like that. I think that they should be setting the standard and the precedent for streaming as a whole, because at the end of the day, you know, you got Mixer, you got DLive out there, you've got Facebook Gaming. All of these platforms are doing similar things to Twitch, right? So I think I don't think that there is any excuse. I don't think it's, you know, they're new. Because I mean they've been around for a very, very, very time. Yeah. I mean, what were they back in the day? I can't even. They had a totally different name.
Yeah, they had a different name. I don't remember what it was either.
Yeah,
but they are.
But I mean, they've been around for a while.
They're the leader when it comes to streaming.
I don't feel like we can excuse it as, you know, they're young.
Yeah,
I think that they just made a mistake.
What was that?
Go ahead.
What was that, Tyler? What were you saying?
I was just saying he's right. They are the leader when it comes to streaming of content.
The main platform that exists.
The short-term content and stuff like that. But if you're going to go watch somebody do something variety, gaming, whatever it is, cooking, talking, it's going to be Twitch,
and
not Facebook.
And you know, right. Mm-hmm. In anytime Amazon buys something, like, expectations go through the roof.
Gotcha.
Right?
That's fair point.
You know, you've got NFL streaming to Twitch now on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
And you've got, you know, partnered streamers, Ninja, Tim Tatman, whatever, getting the opportunity to stream that live.
Yep.
That's a huge amount of responsibility, because then you start bringing in other organizations, you know, namely the NFL. Like, the trust that's in Twitch should be, I feel like it should be paid forward a little more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think Twitch should hold themselves to better standards. And, you know, like, to kind of tag on to that part of the conversation, one of the things that somebody mentioned to me was like, well, maybe, and I get this because I work in IT, maybe it was an automated response, right? Like they got so many so many different reports that came through on this thing that it was like, all right, we're going to ban the dude for 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Maybe that's how it is, and it was automated, and somebody dropped the ball.
You think it was like some sort of like quick fire reaction to where they're just like some, like you said, like an automated kind of thing where something bad came through, and they're just like something, and they're just like, hey, let's put this out there right now, this 2 week ban. And then we'll fix it. We'll think about it for the 2 weeks. Right. Gotcha.
And
that makes sense.
I think the part that, and again, since I work in IT, it's so much easier to automate a process than it is to have somebody deal with it.
Oh yeah.
They know that, okay, this is a serious situation. Here's an automatic 2 week ban so we can figure out everything.
Right. Yeah.
But the issue is, if that's the case, somebody dropped the ball because the guy came back and streamed.
Yeah. Right.
And that pissed me off. That kind of like that put me in a situation where it's like, oh, I'm never coming back.
But then again, also
I'm going off of Twitch to this day. I'm not doing it, but here I am.
But then you have the complete lack of like public relations regarding it. Like they didn't come out with any kind of statement saying, "Hey, we made a mistake."
Nothing about it.
They just ended up turning around and banning him permanently.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
And when there are so many people talking about it,
they
should have said something.
Oh yeah, I mean the number of partners that came out alone. What are you doing? Like, is this how we're going to handle this kind of situation? Gotcha. What I was really upset about, and this could have been just me being salty, is like I'm sitting here thinking like, you're outraged, but you ain't walking away from the money though. You're not leaving the platform. Like you didn't go to D Live, right? Like, so yeah. That's all I got about that one.
So you're back. You're back. You came back when? Officially?
Hell.
Ballpark.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
And since then, you said
towards the end of February,
you had lost some subscribers. Is that starting to go back up?
So followers have kind of rebounded a little bit. So yeah, like I was sitting at a 940 and I'm up at like 956 now. So I mean, it's
gonna grow back.
It's the same growth I was dealing with before. I mean, but like this time around, like I've kind of changed the way that I've been looking at like growth and followers and how I'm kind of conducting myself on Twitch versus how it was like this. Everybody gets caught up in that grind. Thing, man, I could make it just huge. And then you start looking at the statistics. Not to be like a negative Nancy or anything, but statistically, it's incredibly difficult to get partnered on Twitch. It's not incredibly difficult to build a community though. So that's kind of where my focus has been. So
where is your stance on all these Royale streamers getting partnered?
I've had conversations with a lot of people about this. I think it's horse shit. So I'm going to tell you that I don't really care about being partnered, but God damn it, I work my ass off. And you're going to tell me that Joe Blow over Al streamers got partnered because he had, 150 lurkers?
Right. Yeah.
Come on, man. And then you got people out here like packaging, I can give you, 200 viewers and it'll be actually, it'll look like they're actually in chat and all you have to do is pay $25 a month. Like,
no thanks.
Yeah. What does that get you 4 months down the road after you're partnered?
Right. Because that's
when you're sitting with 6 viewers every day partnered.
How the hell did you get partnered? Hey, shut your mouth. You see that purple check mark? That keeps me warm at night. Okay.
Where's your purple check mark? That's right.
Right.
Just me, baby.
I got a purple check mark.
I got 6 like chatters. That's it.
Right. I got 6 chat. It's kind of like people that like go through school for like 15 years. I get that you're proud or whatever. But some of those people come out dumber than a box of rocks. They only know what the books taught them. He's like, I have my doctorate. Okay.
I have experience.
Right. Yeah.
I have real world experience, bro. Have you ever had cockroaches come out of your Cheez-Its box? No.
Right.
You were living at home with mama and they were paying all the bills while you went to dental school. No offense to any dentists out there. Y'all kick ass. I just don't go see you because I hate dentists. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Experience is always the best teacher when it comes to that stuff.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So with all these like current events happening on Twitch, what do you see the future? What do you see the future of all this? Like, what do you see Twitch's future? Yeah. What's your take on like what the future is going to look like?
It's going to be contingent on what the future looks like for Amazon.
Really?
Because Twitch has blown up significantly. Everybody wants to be a streamer. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be a partner. Everybody wants to be, the guy that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. It's not going to happen.
Wait, what?
But nothing. I'm glad you didn't hear
Damn it! I'm selling all my stuff now. I can't keep doing this.
This guy, he said it's not possible. I'm done.
Customer service for me. I'm out of here.
Right. So no, I mean, let me not be completely negative. I think it is possible for some people,
but it's very difficult.
At least, right? It's exceedingly difficult. But as far as Twitch goes, I've never really thought about it because frankly, I don't really care about Twitch. Right.
Yeah.
And I use Twitch to reach people. I use Twitch to game. I use Twitch as a foundation to get some sort of message out. So at the end of the day, if Twitch goes under and I'm moving someplace else, I hope that things go well because I feel like my content is better geared for being over here on Twitch. But I've never really thought about it. I think that they're making a ton of money and I think that they're in good situations. But I never really thought about, what's the future of Twitch? I know the future of MAZLU. But I'm going to let Bezos figure out what he's going to do with Twitch. Liquidate it, take all the money.
All right. So, speaking of MAZLU, a little bit of the past of MAZLU. I sent this to you. But what are 5 things that have made you or led you to who you are today?
Number one was becoming a father. Absolutely. Like hands down that, I was, 24, turning 25, literally like when you look at my Instagram, it's so funny. You look at my Instagram, there's a picture of one of my buddies. He got iced in college. So he's on his knee and he's tipping that thing back. And then the following picture is me sitting in the waiting room, eating Chinese food, getting ready for the birth of my son. So that particular situation, honestly, that holds precedent over anything because I was not a man until I was holding a leg in a delivery watching my son be born. So that would be like
literally holding a leg.
Yeah, bro, I was holding a leg. I was up in there, man. I ain't scared. I ain't fainting. I'm a man, all right?
Yeah.
I walked in and I was like, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? And they're like, hold this leg. And I was like, I got this leg. I was like, baby, you good? All right, let's get it. Like,
bring me the child.
Yes, give me my child.
That's awesome.
But no, definitely that, becoming a father. The other 4, there's a lot of death. Frankly, I was 15 when my grandfather passed away. He battled colon cancer. We found out when I was 15. I still remember vividly where I best friend's house, and my mom. This was blowing up the house phone. I mean, she called like 6 times in a row, and then she got the voicemail. And back then, voicemails you actually heard throughout the house.
Yeah.
So she was like, "You need to call me now." So I called, and she was like, he's got cancer. He's got 4 to 6 weeks to live. And I didn't really talk to him about it. He didn't really talk to me about it. But we lived a year. We rolled until the wheels fell off that fucking thing. We were camping. He made me a promise that he was going to be there for my entire first year of football, which he was. I mean, he actually pulled his truck up to practice field and would be out there watching practice.
Wow.
So
that's powerful.
When he passed, that was incredibly formative and probably in a negative sense because I still carry a lot of, I won't necessarily say guilt because I don't feel guilty about the situation. I feel a lot of anger about life, I guess. Because anytime you lose somebody that you love, that's always difficult. And he was the main male role model in my life. So that would be number 2. Number 3 would absolutely be when I started playing football, which was I started playing football as a freshman, right? 8th grade, I was 5'8", like 130 pounds. I came in freshman year, I was 6 foot, 190 over that summer. Just boom. And my grandfather, like, because we were spending a lot of time together, he was like, "Boy, you're gonna play football." And I was like, "I don't even know." Let me tell you how green I was. I was so green that, like, when they said get down in a 3-point stance, I put 3 fingers down when I was in that 2, 3. That makes sense to me. And then I remember, like, my sophomore year, my coach was like, "Why the hell do you have is that painful?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Put your pinky down." And I was like, oh, this is much nicer.
This is an easier grip.
So yeah, I started playing football as a freshman. And immediately was captain, inside linebacker, and playing football really taught me a lot of the things that I needed to know about life. I didn't know it at the time. Yeah. And that kind of led me to being a coach and all that. What's that? 3? What? Birth, death, football. I don't even have 2 others. Honestly, those were probably, like, those are the 3 main ones.
Those are your bread and butters.
Those would definitely probably be my bread and butters. Yeah. I think that, honestly, I don't think I have 5. I think the 3. Oh no, that's a lie. I lied to you.
Okay.
So I have 4.
Hey yo, got 4
for sure. Yeah, I have 4 for sure.
We'll squeeze one more out of it later.
Maybe come back to it, like, "Hey, MAZLU, remember that 5 answer question that I asked you? You got a 5th just to squeeze it
just
in there.
Really need it, right?
Just squeeze it.
Yeah, just make it up, man. Just make it up.
Just roll that shit and just squirt it out. Okay. Anyway, so my grandmother I was very close to her, like that. Like, yeah. I always felt like she gave me the emotional support that I wasn't getting from anywhere else. Regardless of what I did, no matter how bad I fucked up, she was always the one saying, "Dust yourself off, go at it again, but don't fuck it up again."
Yeah.
So, I was very close to her. When my son was born, ultimately I ended up moving in with her. I was at my mom's for a while, because to give you a little bit about that birth, I only knew that I was going to be a dad a month and a half before he was born.
Oh wow.
But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
I had a month and a half to figure out how I was going to do things. So I lived with my mom when I came home, and then I mother, and my grandmother from COPD, and she also suffered with, like, severe depression.
Yeah.
So it was me, her, and my son. And the plan was, she was still working. I mean, she was like 70, late 60s, early 70s at the time. And the plan was she was going to sell me the house that I grew up in, which was her house. She was going to sell me her house for what she owed on it. I was going to pay that part off. I was going to get like a $600,000 house for $220,000. She was going to live there until she passed away. I just didn't get my shit together in time. And her COPD, like, there was like a chain of events that happened. She, like, fell and broke her leg, and she was in the hospital for a while.
Yeah.
And she couldn't go up and down the stairs, which was tough, because her bedroom had been in the same room my entire life, 30 plus years. And ultimately I felt like she kept telling me and my brother, she's like, "I don't want to live like this," right? I can't even enjoy life. I can't sit on the front porch without pollen making it to where I'm going to suffocate on air, drowning, being alive. So ultimately I feel like she lived a good life, but she passed away back in 2016. Damn, it's been 3 years. That's crazy. So that was very difficult because I was away. Like, it was very quick. It happened. I got a phone call. I was up in West Virginia with some college buddies of mine visiting my brother, which rarely happens, right? Like, me and my brother, we text very little and we call very little, but we're very, very close. It's weird. But he called me and he said, like, "We're on the clock." And I was like, "Okay, like, just tell me when you need me to come home." And then I got a call like a few hours later, and he was like, because my grandmother was, like, conscious and stuff when she made the decision to go into the hospital before she passed away. It was like a couple days before she went in the hospital, she actually told my brother, she was like, "Look, I want to go see my family, and that means her sister up in Massachusetts. So he literally drove her up there, and I didn't know this at the time, but she told him that, you know, I need to say goodbye to my sister before I let go.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, why are you talking about letting go? Like, I understand you can't breathe oxygen and stuff, but we just had a conversation about the future 3 days ago. Like, what do you mean you're gonna let go? Like, so I never saw her conscious again.
Wow.
So I didn't have like a last conversation with my grandmother. I didn't have any of that. I don't honestly, sadly, I don't even remember the last conversation I had with her.
Yeah.
So
that'd be tough.
That would definitely be number 4. So.
Well, let's see.
It's heavy shit, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if we get a 5th here. So last night you did your mental health stream. Yeah. And what was the main motivation behind it? I know, I was in there for a little while, but what was the main motivation? Right.
The main motivation, you know, I have struggled personally with my own mental health and mental illness. I kind of told the story on my stream last night.
Yeah.
I know some of you popped in and didn't really know what was going on. And,
yeah.
I mean, I told.
Yeah, I popped in.
And,
I popped in, threw in a joke, and then like there was no reaction. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I was literally in the middle of talking about my suicide.
Just sat back. I was just like, oh.
CP, come on, man. You follow me on Twitter, bro. Like, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't not mention it, but no, like what drove me to that point is, from a streaming standpoint, I've always, like, the basis was create this space that's almost like a bar, but not in the sense that it's, you know, it's not full of testosterone, a bunch of dudes going after ladies, but just, it's kind of like How I Met Your Mother bar, where it's where you go at the end of the day, right? Yeah. It's where you go at the end of the day. Everybody loves everybody. You know, everybody's supporting each other. Everybody's empathetic to everybody's situations. And I've always made it a point to, like, if somebody's having a rough day, like some of my best streams have been just conversations that we've had until, you know, 6-7 hours later.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it one night. I couldn't sleep because, you know, I'm always struggling with my mental shit. You know, it was 2:00 in the morning. I had to be up at 5 or whatever. I think I'm going to create something more dedicated to mental health because I am such an advocate for it.
Yeah.
So the idea was to kind of piggyback on top of the bar thing, is create this space that people can come to every week, Friday night. It gives us an opportunity to talk about real shit that affects more of us than most of us know. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to create a space where we could talk about certain topics. You know, people could ask questions. People could talk about things that are bothering them.
Right.
Almost like a group therapy session, just not like sanctioned or anything, obviously, because I'm not a doctor. But just to create a space where people feel comfortable and know that they're not going to be judged for saying, hey, I'm schizophrenic, or hey, you know, I have OCD, or I have PTSD. I have terrible anxiety. Like those kinds of things. I don't feel like we have that conversation enough. I don't feel like we hear each other enough. And it's so easy to overlook these invisible things, right? Because I mean, I was mentioning it last night. Like, most people that look at me and see me on stream don't know that 6 months ago I was contemplating suicide. So right. Like, it's kind of like, to put, and I bring this up because I think it's very important to put a male face on it, because toxic masculinity is this idea, right? And a lot of us were raised in it. It's like, you know, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you're a man, be a man, man up. And to be able to be this, like, I don't look like somebody that struggles, right?
Right.
I'm big, I'm bald, I'm beautiful, I'm bearded. Like, like, what do I have to worry about?
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that I do. Mm-hmm. So that was part of it. And the other side was just open up the conversation, because not enough people are talking about the things that matter. So it's to take the stigma away from it.
Yeah. And you did decide you'd do it again, right? And you want to do it regularly?
Going to do it every Friday night.
Okay.
Like last night, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no plan. Like, literally, the best ideas just come out of the blue. I never get nervous for streams, right? Like I don't do that. I just, hey guys, what's up? Whatever. But that particular stream, like I was sitting here at my desk, like having conversations with people. Camera came up. I was like, I'm just, I'm nervous. I don't know if I'm ready, because I was filling people in on my own back, because that was, half of the stream last night was telling my story and my experience with mental illness and abuse and whatnot. So last night was heavy. I think moving forward, it's going to be every Friday night, kind of like in the week, kind of come in, chill. Whoever wants to be there can be there. I know some people aren't going to be down for it because they don't want to talk about it, kind of. That's why we're doing it, so we can get more people to talk about it. But I think moving forward, I would like to start bringing in specific topics that we can discuss, or ask a question pertaining to mental illness, or have a list of them where we can have a full-fledged conversation. So I am trying to figure out how I'm going to. It is fledgling, infant, child. I'm talking cone head right now. Suction cup. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know that it feels right.
But it went well. I mean, you went in not knowing.
You're probably helping a lot of people with it too.
But it went, I think so. I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay. You're probably helping a lot of people along the way. So those streams.
See, that's the other thing. Yeah. I want to use my pain as a foundation to build something positive upon it. Yep. So if I'm able to say, hey dude, like, I was talking to somebody in chat. I don't want to like bring their name in just because.
Yeah, that's fine.
But and this is somebody I'm very close to. We suffer from the same disorders and we didn't know it. Right. Huh. So it also leads to the opportunity to become closer as people, and to know that, okay, I can reach out to Maz because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And if he doesn't, he'll actually listen and shut his fucking mouth. Like, so yeah, I'm definitely glad that it's, I mean, already some people have mentioned that it's helped, and that's the main goal.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next, was just like, did you get any Twitter response or DMs or anything about how positive it was? Or
so when I made the announcement, one of the coolest things that happened, and I tweeted about it because I tweet about everything.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But, so one of oh man, it's all about transparency. Baby. It's all about transparency and picking on Korea because he's an old man and he leaves me looting while I'm bleeding out. That's right, Korea. Let's go. But yeah, I totally forgot what the question was. Go ahead and ask it again.
What kind of response did you get? Right? DMs, Twitter response, anything? Yeah.
So when I made the announcement, I got a DM from one of my favorite partners in the world, Jason Paradise, who's he was like a professional Guitar Hero player, and he brought that community, and he he's got like over 100,000 followers, and like he sent me a message, and it was basically in support. He was like, "This is a great idea. Like, let me bounce something else off of you." So he mentioned the other day that he to set up a podcast in the same vein because he has struggled himself. Yeah. So that was honestly like the coolest thing about it, was having somebody, like, this is all hierarchy, having somebody up there notice me was mentioning, mental health is something that needs to be talked about. And the fact that I was able, I won't take credit for the idea that he came up with, but I did give him a nudge, like, yes, you need to fucking do that. Yeah. So having that ability to like connect with somebody that I have no idea who they are, aside from who they are on stream, was really cool. I know a lot of people, popped, they tweeted, that's a great idea, retweeted. Afterwards, I didn't get as much feedback, but then again, I did tweet at like 2:00 in the morning. Oh yeah, social media is a game. You gotta. But yeah, I did get DMs. Right. I did get DMs and tweets in support of what I was doing, and people were excited about the conversation opening up, and what's going to come down the road. I definitely got some good feedback. Some not necessarily negative feedback, but just a little bit of pushback, which I appreciate more. Right. It's constructive criticism, which I always appreciate and I always ask for it. So I mean, it's been received very well within my community and within Twitter so far. So it'll be exciting to see what it ends up becoming down the road. It's not really like a niche or a growth tactic, but if I can use the platform to connect with people and help people feel good about themselves and not alone, then we're doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And I was surprised, before we get off this topic, but I was surprised when I came in there, some of the people that would just drop in that maybe never really watched you, and you'd ask them straight up, hey, you don't have to share, but if you have you ever? So even though they might not have been used to your space, they still felt okay with it, which I think is a huge thing.
Yeah, like I was shocked with the people that did come in and they just opened up. Like, I'm, and these were people that I didn't know. Like they're new followers now and they're part of the community now. They would just come in and drop, and it's fascinating to see how many people that do suffer are wanting to have that conversation, but they don't know where a safe space is. So that was another driving force in creating this, one stream a week thing for now. To create this space. The stigma needs to be ended, and the way we do it is by creating these spaces where we're going to have conversations about what it really means to be schizophrenic, because no, it's not split personality, right? That's a totally different thing. So it's cool that people felt that they saw, because I tagged it mental health and people came in. It's like, you know what? I'm this and I'm struggling with this and I'm doing this, and we talked about it and it was good and they felt comfortable. Like that's all I wanted to do. So it was super cool to be able to do that.
Cool. CP, you had a question.
Yeah, I was at a brewery earlier today having some drinks, and having some drinks. I've been really into like the sour beers lately. You guys
Dude,
have?
I love sours.
Oh my gosh,
those are my favorites.
They're
Anytime
so
I go to a brewery,
good.
I'm like, give me your best.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Wait till it gets warmer, because they're so good when it's hot out. Oh God, I want to
have to try it.
Looking around like,
give it to me.
Sour.
But we were drinking and we came onto this topic a little bit, and the people who we were with, they are not into the gaming stuff whatsoever. They don't know anything about streamers or what we do or anything like that, right? And they were like talking about the New Zealand thing, and they're like, well, what's like, is it just gonna get worse? Like, we have all these like live streamers, all these like people, like, is it just gonna get worse and stuff like, and just like asking the question, like, we don't know anything, I think can you explain it? And I kind of thought like to myself, there are like YouTube and all these things that we do with streaming, like these platforms, they help babysit your children now. You know what I mean? Like, they're the babysitters for people. Like, your kids, everybody's watching this stuff. Like, it's all we do.
Is true.
And it is just gonna get bigger. Like, all this stuff, in my honest opinion, it's all gonna get bigger. And we need more people like us, like live streamers like us, and people to make content like us, like me and you, like Tyler, like Ed, like MAZLU, me, to put content on YouTube that combats against the negativity. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I just thought about this. I'm like, it is on us to do this stuff. I have a responsibility to fight these guys.
That actually resonates with me, because if not me, who? And that's a whole coach. Like, that's I mentioned that I coach football. If I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it? Because I can't count on nobody but me. Right? Like,
You're the only person that's in control of you. Yep.
I am in control of me. Right? So I can take steps to present something positive out there that fights against, the locker room fucking, 12-year-old little boy humor that's out there.
Right.
And bring a light to the fact that, saying things like, dude, you're retarded, is not cool.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are people that are,
Yep.
and they didn't choose that.
Right.
Right? Or like, man, dude, you're psycho. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's just not like, and some people are like, oh man, like, you're a snowflake. You gotta stop being so soft. Like, it's not about being soft. I think it's more difficult to love than it is to hate.
Oh, that's
I think
true.
it takes more strength.
I think that's definitely true. Love is hard.
I think it's so much more difficult to love despite the things that we see out of people.
Hey, baby, you love me?
Right. I absolutely, yeah. Yes. Yes. But no, like, I think that's the problem with most of society these days is it's so easy to just write people off.
Yeah.
And be consumed by your own thing. Like,
Yep.
I couldn't imagine dealing with this or that. But no, there's no way they deal with that. That's something I hear a lot. It's like, there's no way you feel so bad that you can't go to work. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go into work. Get it done. Like, meanwhile, I can't even fucking brush my teeth. And you want to tell me that I can go to work? Like,
yeah.
People are not empathetic.
Yeah. And I mean,
enough.
Yeah. And I mean, from my perspective, I didn't want to say anything, but I'm personally not someone that suffers from any kind of mental stuff. Like, I'm not really all that stressed at all. Like, and it wasn't until recently that my wife, she developed some sort of like and living in a city such as New York City can be so overwhelming for someone. And she's never really had to deal with any of that stuff. And it turns out New York City ended up being kind of a stressor for her. Right. So she started developing a little bit of anxiety because of it. And it wasn't until then I had no idea what she was going through. I was like, anxiety. Yeah. The hell are you talking about? Like, what you're fine. Right. Yeah, exactly. Because like, I've never felt it. Well, I've experienced anxiety here and there very slightly, but it wasn't like anything that like overpowered me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then I'm just sitting here like trying to like understand. And I think that's what's very important about what you're doing on a weekly basis is not only are you there helping, people through their mental issues because you're trying to explain from your perspective the things you suffer from, but you're also teaching people like me, for example, what you're going through, because I literally had no idea any of that stuff really existed. I mean, I've heard the terms like schizophrenic or this person is suffering from yada, 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 but it never like clicked in my head because I've never experienced it. But now, from my perspective anyway, I'm starting to get more glimpses of what you guys or what you're talking about, and it's because of your stream. It's because of your weekly mental health thing. It's because of the things you talk about when you're tweeting and things like that. The things that I've seen since I have been following you, the things we've talked about even before last night. So So
I mean, coming from my end as well, same thing. MAZLU, you created a community, like you said before, Cassette Force 88. Your whole community sense wasn't for streamers. It wasn't for just streaming. It was for people to come together and get to know each other. And literally, you created a section specifically for mental health in that channel. For somebody who has struggled with stuff like that, like it was a massive like benefit to just scroll through it and just read what other people were dealing with as well and see that like, okay, cool, I'm not alone. So for me personally, like that's a huge takeaway from the work you've done recently is you are making a difference, man. And I appreciate you for that.
Well,
yeah.
Where's the emote for that?
Tissue. Hey, where's the podcast tissues? I'm over here looking at my window. That doesn't make sense. Hey!
What'd be really funny is somebody open the window and
tissues. I got you, bro.
Here you go.
But no, like honestly, like first of all, I am glad that is happening for both of you for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, I made Cassette Force 5 months ago or something like that, 6 months ago. I didn't even have like the idea to do a stream, but it was always like that. One of the biggest things that's part of my channel and my community is we don't disrespect each other. We don't laugh at each other's pain, and we show empathy, right? Like, even if you don't understand, shut your mouth and learn something, because my reality is different than Tyler's. It's different than Ed's. It's different than yours, CP. Like, everybody's reality is different, and how they perceive reality is different. It's not fair for us to put everybody in a box and say, this is how you should react to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Goes, because it affects everybody differently. Right? Like, for me, one of my triggers is loud noises. Immediately I go off the deep end and I start yelling at somebody.
Oh shit. Yeah. That's my bad.
No. Like, if it's like indirect, right? Like,
no, we got
if it's just out of the blue, or if I like in this space, like
if you're not expecting it.
Exactly. Right. Like that, for whatever reason, that my anxiety presents itself in rage.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way that I can protect myself.
That's like your defense
kind of
mechanism to it. Yeah.
Right. And not everybody reacts to anxiety that way, right?
Yeah.
They don't react to their triggers that way. Some, like, I know people that completely break down and hyperventilate and cry, and I know people that just go completely silent. Like, everybody reacts to things so differently, and I think it's so important that like, that stream is not, and I'm glad you mentioned that you're learning something already, even done one stream.
100%.
Is that stream is not just for people that suffer; it's for people that are looking to understand those that suffer.
Yeah.
And be right. Allies, a big hot word, buzzword these days. Right. But it's really what you're doing, right?
Yeah, it's being empathetic. Absolutely.
Right. You be empathetic, and you understand that as somebody who doesn't suffer from mental illness, I couldn't imagine what it felt like to, convince yourself that you're not good enough for somebody, or convince yourself that you're shit, or react to a light bulb popping. Like, there are so many different things that trigger people. And it's not these people's faults. Promise you. I don't choose to have suicidal thoughts. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere.
Right.
However, there are times where I look at life and I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I know that there are more people out there that deal with it. So if I can educate people that don't understand that and support those that do, I'm in the money, man. Like, it's a good thing.
From my side, man, keep up that fight. Like, legitimately.
I ain't stopping.
Were we all supposed to do it?
We'll do it like the wave. It's fine.
It went around the screen line. All right, so talking about reacting to things. Have some quick fire questions here. And
oh man,
I don't have many. But so let's start easy. What's your favorite type of workout? You gotta think of
the one sit up in the morning. Is that the one?
The one crunch I do when I get out of bed. No, honestly, like right now I'm not working out, but like when I was playing football and even after still working out, then dad life came along, and I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the keg right there, baby. But no, honestly, like one of my favorite workouts is hiking. I still do that now. I don't really treat it as like a workout per se. Like I'm not trying to like that's one of my favorite activities. And
you said you do that with your son, right?
Yeah. So I try to get him out as much as possible out in the world, because I feel like from a mental health standpoint, nature is very cleansing and healing. So being out, like I feel like when you look at your rooms, right, all that shit is boxed in, and I know it sounds silly, but if you were to step outside, like I feel like everybody just gives off some sort of aura. Like, you're feeling good, you're feeling great, you're feeling terrible, whatever. If you go outside, that's not boxed into a space.
So yeah, I want to say one thing.
What's up
on that? I know, like I just said, like I don't know much about the mental issue stuff, but
Yes.
meditation, would that be able? That's probably something that helps with it, right?
Yeah. So yeah, meditation is definitely something that helps big time with mental health.
Yeah.
Do I do a lot of it? Not like officially where I like stop everything and you know, meditate like my brother does. Like I have a 28-year-old brother. He studied religion and philosophy and stuff in school, and he's very spiritual and very connected to the world. And I won't say he's a hippie because he's cooler than that, even though hippies are cool. But I mean, he's like a modern day hippie. His hair's down to here. He's got this beard, and
Jesus,
literally he puts like 30 minutes out of the day to where he'll sit there and he'll do yoga or do meditation to just kind of balance things out. So that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, I did a float tank once, like a float tank session.
Interesting.
And I was in there for an hour.
So
great. And I kid you not, I had some of the craziest experiences in there. And you hear people say that, right?
Right.
I had some of my I started streaming, doing all this with you guys because of that float tank. I shit you not. Like, I'm here because of that. So
you shit me not?
Yeah.
I shit you not.
You should try it. You should try it. You should try it.
Oh, the float tank?
Yeah, you should try it.
I'm scared of a float tank, just like I'm scared of acid.
Can we quote that? I'm scared of a float tank like I'm scared of acid.
Quote it all.
For real.
Quote it all.
I love that.
Wait a second. What just happened?
I didn't hear Tyler. What'd you say, Tyler?
I just made a joke. I said that was my next question. Float tanks or acid? So you don't like either one. So.
Oh, that's a good one.
See, I took my headphones out.
I didn't hear nothing.
Go for it, Ed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right,
quick fire, baby.
My quick fire question: if you could create any video game type, what would you create? Like what game? RPG straight up.
Yep. And you know, actually, what it would be is it would be an RPG that is based in the Star Wars universe where I can build a lightsaber however I want. The Old Republic, where I have everybody else's lightsaber. I want my own damn lightsaber. I want skill trees. I want the Skyrim of Star Wars. That's what I want. That's what I would create.
Since you also mentioned a movie, have you ever cried in a movie?
Absolutely.
Can you remember which one or one of them?
Armageddon.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, Bruce Willis was saying goodbye to Ben Affleck. I was, and he hit him in that chamber and like shot him back up. And he's like, no! And I'm just like, and he's like, take care of my little girl. And I'm like,
oh, my heart. I can't.
Man, I'm thinking about crying right now doing that.
I'm about to go watch that movie right now.
Oh my God, Armageddon. You know what's funny about Armageddon? It got 1 star. Mm-hmm. I thought Armageddon was fantastic.
I thought it was really good
anybody
too.
says.
That's why you can't trust. That's why you can't trust the.
I didn't cry in a 1-star movie. God damn it! That was 15 stars.
It was 4 thumbs up. All right, Robert Ebert.
It had everybody I wanted: Michael Clarke Duncan, Will Patton, Bruce Willis. Like, why not? But yeah, I cried like a child. And I still cried like a child watching that movie. At 30 years old, going on 31 next weekend, I cried like a baby back bitch watching Armageddon.
There is something romantic about a large meteor falling towards our face.
Large? It was bigger than Texas, dog. It was bigger than Texas. And we're not even going to talk about the fact that Morgan Freeman and Deep Impact basically bit Armageddon the same year.
That happens all the time, though.
But Téa Leoni was in that one, I think.
Yeah,
I think she was like I don't know what she was, but Morgan Freeman was the president. Okay, so whatever. Movies, like we have to do a movie podcast because I'll talk about movies all day long.
That's maybe something to think about.
All right,
movies and serial killers, dog.
Yeah, I love the serial killers.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, you have to if you listen to the last podcast on the left, right? All right. So I guess my rapid fire question is: if you could travel anywhere in the world, rent or expense free, where would it be?
Greece.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I would literally live on the coast of the Mediterranean and you would never see me again. I wouldn't stream or nothing.
Do you like?
I honestly, I would live stream my view so you bitches could be just so jealous.
I wouldn't be jealous. I'd just come visit you.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, let's be real.
I'm just saying, I'd come out there and be like, hey, dude, like, I know you're in Greece now, so.
Hey, MAZLU, where are you? I'm here.
Right? My butler will be there like, there's some weird bearded man out front. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Should I let him in? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, is it a cool looking
Yeah,
cat
he's
or
cool,
is it
man.
a
He's
demon
cool
looking
lemon.
cat?
Right?
It's a demon looking cat? Yeah.
Does the cat look like it's going to kill me?
Yeah, that's
Does he
the
look
one.
mad?
That's him. I know that guy.
I know that guy. Let him in. Get him some Perrier on ice, please. Perrier.
Are you a big Mediterranean food fan? Do you like?
Hell no. I just like the view. Like, so I know that.
You don't like the food.
Like, you were so offended. You were so
gross.
offended by that. You were like,
Yeah.
you want to go to
Yeah,
Greece?
because he's Greek.
I'm not.
You're Greek?
I'm not.
No, you're
Greek.
Italian.
I'm Italian.
Right? Yeah.
Italian. Yeah, it's Irish too.
For no, like I don't care about the food. I care about what it looks like. I've always been moved by scenery and how things. I always feel alive when I'm looking at things that are just so.
Yeah, you've been looking at those Yacht Week ads. That's what you've been doing.
No. It's honestly like every time I've traveled to a city, I'm moved to the core. Every time I see something that I've never seen that's visually stunning from a landscape standpoint, whether it be mountains or like the way a river cuts through things, or just it's weird, but it's my thing. Like I'm moved by visual things. So if I could live on a coast and just look at the Mediterranean for life, absolutely. I'll just order Domino's. They got Domino's there.
Hashtag goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you said you've never been anywhere outside of the States, right?
No, actually, I haven't left. I don't even have a passport.
Oh, you got to get that then.
I
he
really
doesn't
do.
have to worry about
Sounds
it.
like you have your itinerary all planned out.
It does. It does. I definitely should get a passport. But no, unfortunately, I have not left the country, which sucks. I want to.
Maz, where can people find you?
great.
What's that?
Where can people find you? On Twitch, Twitter?
Where can they find me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So on Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/MAZLU. On Twitter, you can find me on twitter.com/MAZLU_. And on Instagram, you can find me at Instagram.com/_MAZLU_, because all the MAZLUs in the world literally have accounts that they haven't touched since 2009. And I have to add
that's my problem with
freaking
Twitter.
underscores to everything.
Fun fact, all those MAZLUs are his and he forgot he created them.
Oh, me? Is that a... I'm not going to say that. But that might be true. Might be true. Also, I'm live Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9 p.m. Friday nights, mental health streams. So we'll come in with a conversation about some sort of article or some sort of questions that I come. So
Cool.
That's what you got, man.
And CP,
Cool.
what are your links?
Which ones?
CP,
Yeah.
what are your links?
Hit us with your links,
Where can we
CP.
find you?
Oh, yeah. You can find me on Twitch TV/CPFever. On Twitter, you can find me at CMPFever, just because someone had CP fever, I guess. I'm not really sure how that works. And I also just created a YouTube video or YouTube account, CPFever. I posted my first few videos on there. And I think that's it. That's all I got.
You know where you can't find him? Over here in Cassette Force 88, which is my Discord, which you can find at the top of twitter.com/MAZLU_. There's a little Discord link there, posted in my pinned tweet that CPFever is not in. You can join us, though.
Full disclosure on that. I was a part of so many Discord things at one point in time.
Yep, I'm out. I don't want to hear excuses. I did not come here for excuses.
Get out of here with that shit. I ain't got time.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on.
Ed,
Ed.
what are your links, bro?
All right, you can hit me up on twitch.tv/the_eDubyah, and that's EDUBYAHW. You can find me on Twitter at the eDubyah, the_eDubyah. You can find me on Instagram as just eDubyah, because why not just make that one easy? Nobody had that one. And then you can also check out the Fever Discord as well as Cassette Force 88. I'll promote it too. Like, I'm on there. It's a fun community. Come hang out. We also have the Fever Discord. You can find that pinned in my Twitter bio.
Oh man, I'm falling behind. It's not in my bio. All right, and then you can find my Twitter is also taken by someone who has never used it for like 5 years and it has like 10 posts on it. And
so
has about
this
5
really
followers.
is a group. Mm-hmm. It's Twitter Steelers Anonymous.
There you go. But, so mine is _IconicTyler, because I'm better than the guy who doesn't use his. And then
just like the Ohio State University.
My Twitch is just my Twitch is just /IconicTyler. And apparently I should get an Instagram. But
I don't post on my Instagram. Just that's
I should get one too.
I never post on there, so follow me. It's super fun to follow me and never see anything from me.
I have a very cute child that I post a lot of pictures of.
He does. I do follow him on Instagram, actually.
Big fat.
Very cute.
All right, guys. MAZLU, you're a champion. Thank you for all you do, man.
Yeah, thanks, Maz. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, I had fun. It was a blasty blast.
Yeah, this is a hoot. Thank you, guys. You guys take it easy.
That was great.